Greetings, my brothers and sisters. God bless you. God bless you on this beautiful Saturday. God bless you. And I want to say welcome to my new subscribers. God bless you. You're welcome here. I'm praying for you both. I love you both. I feel like the Lord wanted me to talk about and tell about my vision that He gave me about fire coming from the sky. So I'm going to read a couple of Bible verses before I go into it, because after the Lord gave me this vision, I went immediately to the Bible and found scriptures that pertained to it. So I want to read that. The first one is I'm coming out of John 5, the 5th chapter, and the 28th verse to the 29th verse. And it reads, "Do not marvel at this, for the hour is coming in which all who are in the graves will hear his voice and come forth, those who have done good to the resurrection of life, and those who have done evil to the resurrection of condemnation." So that marvel, I saw that in my vision. I'll explain it. You'll understand as I go along when I start talking about the vision. And you can look it up in the Bible more if you want to read that verse. My next verse is coming out of 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, and the 12th through the 13th verse. And it reads, "As you look forward to the day of God and speed its coming, that day will bring about the destruction of the heavens by fire, and the elements will melt in the heat. But in keeping with His promise, we are looking forward to a new heaven, and a new earth where righteousness dwells." So the vision that I had, this particular vision that I had, I was in my room and I believe I was talking to the Lord about something, and I laid down and I went straight into another vision. These are the visions that lasted for months. This was one of them. I went straight into a vision, and in this vision, I was running, just running. I was on the ground running with all these thousands of other people. They were running and screaming, just running and screaming. And the Lord often puts me in these visions so that I can know what it feels like, what it's going to feel like when this day comes. That's why I'm a lot of times participating in these visions. So I'm running. All of a sudden, I find myself running. I'm just running. Everybody is running next to me, and other people are running, screaming. And when I look up to see where we're running from, it's these huge balls of fire. Huge. The only size I can compare it to is a large house. These fireballs were huge, just flying down from the sky and hitting the ground. And then all of a sudden, the Lord took me out of that vision. It was in the same vision, but He took me up into a huge airplane that had a lot of people in it, and people were screaming, and I'm looking like, what are they screaming about? And they're screaming and screaming the whole time. These fireballs also are falling, but this plane is flying in the air without a pilot. And we're just screaming like, oh my goodness, The plane doesn't have a pilot. He disappeared in thin air. He was gone. So that tells me that there is going to be a time when the saints are taken off of the earth. The saints will be taken. When all these things happen, a lot of them that happen at a certain point in the end times, the saints will be taken because the pilot was completely gone. And everybody's just screaming, and this huge jet airplane is flying through the air without a pilot. And then the Lord takes me out of that and back down to the earth, and I'm still running. And then he turns me around, and I turn around and I look. I stop and I look up, and when I look up, there's this huge newspaper. The heading, huge newspaper in the air, hanging in the air. And the headline says, Marvel. The headline says, Marvel. Then the Lord immediately brought me up out of that vision. I hadn't fallen asleep. I was woke and I was taken up out of that vision, and I immediately ran to my Bible and grabbed it and opened it up. And that's what I read to you earlier. It says, do not marvel at this, for the hour is coming in which all who are in the graves will hear his voice, that's God's voice, Jesus' voice, and come forth. Those who have done good to the resurrection of life, and those who have done evil to the resurrection of condemnation. So basically God's saying, Jesus was saying that don't marvel about these things. Yes, these things are going to be happening. They are going to be happening. These huge, fire is going to hit the earth. Yes, the days of darkness is coming. All these things I spoke about, they are coming. So don't marvel about them. Just get right. Just get right. If you get right, you don't have anything to worry about. If you get right, you don't have to have anything to worry about. And stay right. That's for all of us, right? As we're living for Jesus, we all have to stay right. Not only get right, but stay right. Stay right, because we don't want to experience what happens in Revelation. We do not want to be here the days of darkness. We don't want to be here when the fire falls out the sky. We don't want to be here. We don't want to be here. So, and like I said before, and I'll read it out again when it talks about these fireballs. As you look forward to the day of God and it's coming. That day will bring about the destruction of the heavens by fire, and the elements will melt in the heat. But in keeping with the promise, we are looking forward to a new heaven and a new earth where righteousness dwells. So what does that tell us? That no unrighteousness won't dwell in this place. So for us to make it into heaven, and like I say, I want to always say, I'm not bringing fear to you, but a warning so that you can escape this, so we all can escape what's coming. And when we look at the world today, I mean, look at what's going on with the world in every area. Just look at it. Jesus is coming soon, I'm telling you. Jesus is coming soon. So the message today from the Lord for all of us, if you're not righteous, get righteous. If you're not living for the Lord, begin to seek him out and search for him and live for him. Because he is coming. And don't marvel at these things when they start happening. Don't be surprised. Why? Because Jesus has warned us it's coming. I'm warning you, it's coming. He sent me to warn you, it's coming. And then after all that, it's going to be a new heaven and a new earth. A new heaven. He told me that in one of those visions. That's what he said. He wanted me to proclaim. That's what I heard him say that to me clearly. When he showed me all these visions, he told me proclaim. Proclaim it. Talk about it. This new heaven and a new earth. And the day of the Lord. Because he is coming. Go back and look at those verses that I talked about. Read them over. Pray about them. Meditate on them. And then search your heart to see if you're living for the Lord the way you're supposed to be. We all have to search our hearts, right? None of us is perfect, right? No. None of us is perfect. But in Christ Jesus, we are. In Christ Jesus, we are. And this is a love message, not a warning, not a fear. It is a warning, but it's a love warning. He wants us to escape what's coming. God bless you. God bless you. And I will talk to you soon whenever the Lord tells me to. I love you so much. I'm praying for you. Keep me in your prayers too, okay?